ma me man panyimfo akwa aba me ne wo ka say eye menuaba Janet Nabla leader People's National Party Chebia na PNC wono ene ye omo general secretary anamba ene People's National Party flag bearer ya electoral commission ama ne kwan ma man to no so aba wo edem ha Auntie Janet ma cha na pay
mpacho me juice
oho ye
awo yesu dim
ye da nyame ase Divine Nkrumah Director of Operations PPP womo na epe womo bank se bank de besa bank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama we share papa kwesi indum e share ne bo e be ba so ni Divine ma cha na pay
yeah
na impom te saying
na me adom bia e boko na wo so e
afisia pa na me adom me ho ye pa
afen go betu nyina
ye fra CFM free appointment His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abobo he gave us 14 days when he sworn in 14 days to release all the appointment was started in fact we cut it down from 30 to 23 and our bomb and sama me and sana converted no kra ho asama ba e ma o say che men sabo so akasa say wono no time om the event no full say nya no kwan so aso ma pepere om ho dodo minority so kra ye press conference of vetting grow ya ho say vetting we ye fa the finance minister me kire ato forcing John Jinapo and Dominic Ayene afe wasan the list for fraba in fact or the list I want no national ye ba first wo mo ni om be adwuma chief of staff ne nkro no ba wo bo me ensa ne wieye wo ko bako oduru wo no kire se wo de eye national security advisor national security coordinator ne nkro no ba ne defense interior be ba se de be betimi aboa so far o hwe din apie mountain so anyhow what started here na adwuma na Janet what's your initial comment about John Dramani Mahama a few days as the president?
Mami chao ena mutiefo nyina anapei. Me say so far so good. In fact, na me wo a little bit challenge, especially or the first badge of and yet even first badge. Who say or starting yes or the transition team eba.
Yes.
Or this transition team of 10 people by ya or baba kunkwan na order in anu na enye me there because which are transition team here a very critical area and minim say nipa bebre e ya omunim say memma mo no betima ye but the oba be ye no e different from the obema ye and the oba ye no e more instinct to to whatever thing I would say one build it and obema so ya the same thing nti say one fa omo menu number na wo di ba kunkwa ba ade no enko so ye mimi ken na me ye a member of one committee omo frɛ yes say yembra na embe hwɛ obi di budget baye nipa kuno di budget baye obeka meye we ye ti ya ye di sika na ma no odi second budget beba no oyi nyema mienu our first budget no di kan we ni so like he hid it
what is it
and committee no professors doctors osad baye okaya na miti se o boss adimi no and na see there be ya tua dada o see there be yentua ye then we went back into the archives ye di nyema ne baye obi ahun say ye tua and o see sika ne nso ye and na see so why did you hide them enti eba ne say na mema no hu ye there's something distinct obema mo omo focus the omo pe no e different from the map nti say wo pese adwuma nkoso yie and na wo concentrate on a mema since 1992 until date ye di concentration ma mema hwe baby your life itie nti time abase President John Mahama osema bo say obema ye 30% representation affirmative action bill no obe inti o start ye 10-1 and na odi oral ba ye oba bia ni ho and na me see investigation pa santi na de bia ye forming investigative committees are enkosi hu because what men are looking for are not looking at the nitty-gritty but the devil lies in the details and no memma say the way they are created Inti se wo fa omo se omo koye investigation oba bia ni ho a inti me hwe sanu na enye me de e na osa di ni staff ba ye hwe ye oba bia ni ho
Valerie Sawyer ka ho
Valerie Sawyer ba nipa ba ko mpe ena na wo ho inti na eye me like I wasn't happy at all. I wasn't happy, so I decided that I won't say anything. I will keep quiet and see what he will do. But Endro Chie or now Endro Bibi or the 10 regional people no buy onusu the 3 people can home, and that is the 30% of the 10. In fact, also over 30 system ministers. And yes, I know can. Into system ministers, ma be 18. Into share in conclusion, the appointment to obey bia 30% must be given to women. There be now is a law. And na obisi constitutional dinner ba say your president it's say on dimra so. And na minim say President Mahama the one thing I minim about him no or abadaye mamamu. So with him I'm positive say a ban office staffer a baby obey bia sa 30% no odibe momo because we share NDC ya wa ma bebre our NDC and it's not just ma mukasa ena eya mukasa ube hu say like the waves ena tender and lightning eya eba inti these people can do it. They are competent enough to be able to help the men because men no concentration at those ena ye di omo kwa mpacho
yes men na de hwemo.
One of the appointments are yes omudi ma be ma ye finance minister. Yemi.
They only have to force one problem.
Since 1992 until now, ye memma na ye finance ministers. Oman timi amboye awo bibia so. And na we share sika senior management of money ye more perfect. For 1,000 Ghana cedis more ba na 1,000 more bema. Ne ja omu se ma omu nkola mu mienu. Oba no kola be ko school papa ombenye aduane papa di obe manage 1,000 cedis no as compared to Obama. Eba ni saying na eba finance ministers ye di ma mema. So the time has come say sa mentality na ye was say mema mu na ye say na mema time aba say ye change. Yes, and yes, they be the same results. MPP ba ye be yomu ba the same thing because we are not trying to change and to take bold initiatives so that ye di mabeba deliberately to be able to help. Share ye can about agri sector. Almost more than 70% of women are into peasant farming. Eba ni say eba minister for agriculture. Ye hu oba bia wa Ghana or ye agric minister da. Northern region omo kase omo ye farming gbe ukwa. Omo ko wari ma mienu mensa so that we be ko fu ma akodo ama omo. Na obema no oti this in Pitoba. Na manu ne wo farm sa omo ye adwuma. Eba ni saying eba minister for agric since the inception of our democracy it has been men. So with the appointments ye nyina ye bon pa say bibia be kosu ye because enkosu ye it is all of us that will suffer. It doesn't matter say me wo opposition. Yes, I'm in opposition, but the ye share plans President Mahama Dibeba enu nebe boye nyina.
But do you think I was starting here with this what he's been doing so far?
So far it's okay except about the women thing no. And sisi a me person omo take bold steps especially about women there are great women in their party that can do it.
Right. Mama ko divine so far how far? Who name saying?
Yo mama nchia etiefo ni ahwefo nyina. Didi kan no my main congratulate omo amanya akwanya ya nominate omo no
right
because asudie no imagine say you were more than 30 to 40 million Ghanaians are all over the world omo nyina enso nyaya ombenya opportunity now nkoa ya UF free mu mampenya UF free mu so de asudie no e hye wonsa na chese ebia bibi soronko bi wo mu awahu enfa ho ne se nya wote
right
nti no mebo ma baso ena de di kan so no bi de oho bi unso no say mo de mo na mo teach yes ye di jawa ne de asoa ye de soa unso na de jawo ti ne yes o mo ya asoa fo no dwumadi e de ahye o mo nsa no a privileged position. I don't think say it is studio hampo. Say kase ebinu mo manya appointment omo chen. Yes, you qualify by hwehwe mu na na say omo na omanya ekwan say omo meserve. So a privileged position is omo hu ni say adwuma e dia mo say omo mbra mbambe ye no omo nye na Ghana for enya ho emfaso.
But do you think they will be able to, because all three were deputy ministers during the first coming?
You know, I won't discount their competence and then their aptitude, because so we share more your present your mom CV and your qualification.
Right.
I think say they are even overqualified, like a Jumano ombe to me. But the challenge is that on say me the be make say qualification ni nice CVs ni de keka hono de, and it exists on paper. But Jumedi nankasa na de ahya wo nsa no, how I'll be executing a man for nya ho fa so ni different. Ghana, our biggest challenge and bane as a country, no, is procurement. Me say, if you are able to tackle that canker called procurement, hey, all ministries for you na be juma mo bia ho ato no. Because akwa say appointments are the man for civil service money public sector money na no. Ni padodo no focus no about the procurement benefits omo be derive from position rather than the solutions yes.
Right.
Into him say instead say address issue regarding school feeding and I say even desk can be provided for students.
Yeah.
Obon say no kwabrane hwehwe kon be fa so obedidi wo mu
10%.
Ni sika obedi wo mu. Entiade ehun hia no no mo hwehwe kwan bi so no mo de aba na aba beto no minti yes COVID-19 aba. Yes solving for problems are omowa. No hwehwe avenues are be create loot and share or airport na travelers ba omba je omusika. Yes problem bi aba yen hwe kwan bi so e be fa so e be solve no quickly na manfo atom pa no kwabrane shechi no didi me de enu na ama sometimes they refuse to think deliberately, including say Ghana has many of the appointees sometimes they pretend someone is smart because they want to loot. Into one say ade we pa onim say answer ni onim say ade we na say solution no I bet na no abesha da bisa say onim all because of person we are me woman say they are cheap and shortcuts avenues so to me use or to me arriving or they are solving issues into yes anyama no into me I believe say baby o man na ba be do no see all governments are yet to omunyina no. Sometimes living is not about the leadership, and as a leader no the figurehead no ni nkrofo a di na chi onu omu ye adwuma Kwame Nkrumah at the time wa ye tu na nkrofo bebre were angry say bia the government corrupt, and I say some people have been involved in procurement breaches in the county. Say even say issue with boat is not boat you then you koto bedi bed Kwame Nkrumah CZ return it back to UK make anything. All of those things happen, and who is Kwame Nkrumah also, but the appointees na ne di na chi no greedy people are ne di na chi no mo sign yama o ti ase enti de message say appointees no manya adwuma no omo mo mani nda ho no mo nye de be maga na ho ato mo na
otie vet and minim your impression a minority press conference and over the vetting process. Meaning, if it's ready, we can play. Na fe yen ni hon komoni ento aso. Yen tie de Gideon Boako no na di omo nim kan. Afe no wura parliament. Wo mo wie you kra nche. Church ro mo ha parliament ye adwuma kra nche ni ade ade. We di omo nim yen tie de.
Committee of Parliament met to consider the vetting of 3 ministerial nominees for the positions of Finance Minister Designate, Energy Minister Designate, and Minister for Justice and Attorney General Designate. By the practice of the House, these nominees could have been waited for about 3 weeks to enable the committee to obtain comments from the public. However, in the interest of national development, we waived the privilege to to allow the process to proceed. We cooperated with the majority side for a smooth process. However, there are a few observations that we made during the process that we feel obliged to share with the general public. I shall share some of the general overviews. The notice of the nominations was received by the Right Honourable Speaker on January 9, 2024, and was subsequently referred to the Appointments Committee. Acting in good faith, the minority fully committed to the process. This commitment stemmed from our desire to ensure that President John Dramani Mahama had the opportunity to shape his government without delay. Nonetheless, we expected that the members and friends of the committee would be given sufficient questioning time to examine every matter in detail. Unfortunately, this was not the case. Members of the committee were not provided with the CVs of the nominees ahead of the vetting. When they were eventually served with the CVs during the vetting, the chairman did not allow for the examination of those CVs as preliminary issues, as had been the practice in the past. The deliberate refusal to provide the CVs of the nominees to committee members in advance, and the refusal to invite questions on the CVs were all calculated attempts to obstruct constructive and effective scrutiny of the nominees. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Appointments Committee was the first real obstacle to a diligent vetting of the ministerial nominees. He denied the Ghanaian people and the minority members of the committee the opportunity to conduct a thorough vetting of the nominees. He was protective of the nominees and extremely partisan.
Fancy emre anyhow nti ma me fancy he ya na wo hwe nsema no ka no say yeru ahiafo na wo makwan wo magabakra na to force nkra de ma menka ne say ya say papa no say wo no abon wo say dey you ubisa no question no wahurasi ya no wahurasi ya no apete ne ho afa no apete ne ho afa ya makwan ma minority for na ntumi endoso wo ma endoso ne mu yie ene ade a na CVs no kra no ya makwan ma o ma mbisa question Divine.
Only, well, I have me say, I'm recalculating we waste 7 time with their boss. I'm telling you. You see, when I see some of these people, I get angry.
Who give you more kwana abuefu?
And you're no person. I see some of them, like you know, I think say it is even too early in the day for them to be coming out. No more kasa like they speak like this. It spites us, like because you see. What they did to Ghanaians, the mess and the disrespect and the exhibition of arrogance from these people, no? Even with that so-called majority to a minority, that split a year or no. Look at how they treated us, the disrespect, the arrogance. Then all of a sudden, what called minority, you still want to be on our heads and dictate how things should go. Who share the posture of Avenue Markin? Look at the way he was behaving. See. We are here, we have observed, we have seen. Those days, did you see how they treated the minority those days? Did you see? So much disrespect. And then, when the table turns, you still want to be treated as special human beings, as if someone will be patching you be. Wine. Gideon way, ya, or say. And you know no Baumia spokesperson.
Aye.
And you know Bejina Bonti or catcher say, Ombe levy a few on.
Aye.
Appointment committee, and you know Becca says it will be disastrous and whatever injurious to the economy, say he levy a few on.
But he's helping them.
Such a person, you think we can trust him? Is he not being preposterous and disingenuous? at the same time. Into me, I don't want to. You see, me, some MPP. Right now, what I want the rank and file the party to focus on is how to rebuild, how to organize themselves. No one come internal issues. No that for now they should even pretend to say there's nothing at stake, because the way they are doing, the things reminding so fresh in our minds. The mess. Any nyama pota. Look at. Have you ever sat down to think about how say fun to say naka vote ya Mahama NDC enya ye sa
57%
majority o manya yi imagine say na ado aban MPP we nya sa de no anka na ye beda na nado die impokra no hu ni gina bia kra. Look at the way o mu gina e console, and then they are complaining about attempts to gag them. To gag who?
They say na the first time no kra 168 MPs.
Okra 168 e chen wan de. Second term yi the other year amount for see they go now, even all the state institutions from judiciary on my hijacking there was some at the parliament on my hijacking, and look at even how trivializing that the work of parliament. Apenyo marking me a majority me say no money na everything they want to have their way.
See, food they all starting now before you say that
no, you see, when I see them, the way they talk and the way they behave, it's as if someone that like who's I say
minority more on kasa
one the bit me person say you see, so we a mistake ni be and dra na ye wie now ye cathedral asem da ho ye nkan wi amana where we see sika o si won kan no asem o so wa ko kan bula ho asem a te na bufo na deba na mama ende wo madam Jane asem no kan no is very important about women. Me a believer of the axiom say women no more opportunity ye and this friend say ethnic yes you yen share e bi mu fi ha appointment ni considerations ni na kan
regional balance
in the kika meaning na meji tum ba me die tipo mami competence and aptitude. It's not just say bi obi or ba keke near the next ho
and na one competent and aptitude
to say yeah obi me say obi say me say me a president biba not say competent people, because school I call yeah for tribes say for tribes so monko yeah for say kuobi so mass so monko what it is in say me a president biba no believe say these people omu nyina fi Ashanti region omu nyina betima ya adwuma na be boa Ghana be benefit ya fine say ye man ko ampo na be appoint na be man po nkan wa na mu ye competent but to be gina onu mu anan say mad omu ba sida da pa ye be ma sili ya da pa oslo usu oye hermaphrodite
no omo ye mamu
some of the corrupt things see the corrupt activity corruption kosupa eyehu kra a man ye it me ye be decided say man there be yen ka about competence yen ka about omo wo su by papa omo wo nyama o de ade show mu sa omo etimi abo ho ban
my
dear.
Who say one my divine kasa ma share time no. Woman me just like 2 minutes.
Yeah, be say 2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes.
I want to see you.
Woman me 2 minutes. And woman no show. And a woman no kasa ye. Obesi ye na usama way by ye.
That's your boy.
Me was some reactions to something okay. Some just a little bit. Share okay. Ko prisons na kwahwe eye wan gender na dos wo ho no mema wo gender yet oma yomu. Do you know that I didn't want men to become Minister of Finance as a result of the incompetence that they usually put the men there in? Because most of the men that goes into finance ministry ends up not doing anything. To me, dear Ghana, we should just push all the men aside. They have been super incompetent in running the affairs of this country. They are okay. Munim kasa eka brofo mu betima ka brofo te say na okay. What did you mama want to mean? They are lazy and most of them are lazy and incompetent. That is the reason why Ghanaian women are those taking care of their children. They feed their children, they educate their children, they take care of this country without even, and yet when we talk of income, 1% of the income goes to women and 9% of income goes to men. Inti my no. Bema omo ye incompetent omo form no mumfa incompetent women no nso so nka ho ena oka bibi about this appointment committee ena minority share. I support whatever the minority is doing. No matter what I say you want a competent minority or a vibrant minority to be able to keep things in place. Obi go into ministerial discipline. Obi be dane minister. Na yen hwe so ye de oye na de be ya okwo betima ye dwuma ne ye. Na say o man jai because ye ba ye adiboni na Ghana fo tuti aye nti yen jai no monko ana maybe mu yi PPP ana PMP yeah, inti yesu ye time and na ye kasa look all this and movement for change so almost so free we can't come here and will not talk about national interest, and it's about things that people did, personal things that are hurting us. Share na kasa na omo bisano. Number one, finance minister omo bisano say, musi first year students, mube university students, you will give them opportunity to go free entry or on country. He refused to answer that question. The second question na omo bisana on person on kasa na ye free SHS no. Important questions that they asked him, he refused to answer it, and the chairman was there to support. Look at Honorable John Jinapo. What he said, no, can say, hey, MPP for they want to privatize ECG. They want to privatize ECG. Say who will be he's giving contradictory statements. Say not minority. Omo buyer we say mama just because omo push omo out just now saying mama bekasa na omo di privatize ECG a when mo na be affected enye ye nti oka na mu work abetena ha ka say omo yekom no ma yekom na NDC say ti say de ye mu ye na nkwe no ma push ade akọ at the end of the day it is the 30 million Ghanaians that are going to suffer. So no matter what, whether we are in they just came or not, when we see that they are going to give contradictory statements, we are not going to agree. And Honorable John Jinapo, I am so disappointed in him. And I think that whatever the minority is doing, they should keep on doing that. It brings about democracy. Democracy is not for you to keep quiet because they are the only people we have in parliament. Your party has no representation in parliament. My party has no representation. The movement has no representation in parliament. This is... You have representation. Who?
They are supposed to represent.
So no. I mean that when you went into elections, you didn't come out with this. There is the MPP to which Gideon is part of that have representation. And as an opposition political party, we know whatever is usually happening. The NDC, when you go back and see what they did during this era, then you are not in Ghana. If you're in Ghana, when we are going out, I will show you what they did during the nomination period. So whatever they are doing, when it comes to these two political parties, I will ask people to calm down. They are the same thing, the same uniform, except that way uniform no, a white, red, and green, and a way uniform no, a blue. This they are the same. You can't say they are the same. They are in power, when they are in power, they tell you that that table manners. When you eat, you don't speak. Very soon, NDC they will keep quiet like this because they are eating. Like the way MPP were eating, we spoke, they refuse to listen. Because when they are eating, they don't talk.
It's your observation so far. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama by appointment near the end of it.
Obaya, a dear for some Ghana for Major
na chief who ye de
no year 2020
Ghana so called Cantamanto.
Yes, Odruan and issue a pram go for say when nipa no say to ababa nanso nyame beye in 2028 ye gine mu ani enyanwie de ora Mahama ye no say any de action is that onye ye use on man peni a pass afo and this so for me who ade bia hu bia I was a power
security for no de betu dwa enra nipa 9. One as a security advisor, the other as security coordinator, director of operations, and non-crofo be director of operations or presidents, and then human saying, and a keep you know.
Me say, maybe I'm in fact go for CV Yeduma. Say, watch on your megu papers to be fine Yeduma. yeah the share on say ya money show na be na ye me measurement say o buy an improvement abem and it you bon go for the any serve mu ye I don't believe in it because obi wo ha
onye vet ni
no obi wo a good orator obetena so kasa yen ka brofo a obeka ne we but simple management if you nyansa de be take decision no ni ni o officers and guys even the year e ka economy
yes what say ha wakumsi a okọ ya na ebisa ne say ne aquaculture ya dey and
no I don't believe in it ebia brofo no obetumi ontumi nkireche but ko duru for mo na obeya adwuma ma enipa no ho ede aton ade kromo ma build successful businesses say brofo ana say ni ede ya e go metuma build but obu ha won see wo classroom leader enso afie nyansa street sense timi omo na ya na me uguta PhD ya normally am ntam fa wasem serious because I just wasua nwoma no sa wo classroom sa and street this one
yes wo form no
wonim enti anyai e ma asemo na me nua ba yi ken ye ma ma ne position bi ye but I agree with divine say nyese oba na oba keke said na temaklo no ye bema said na temaklo no ye bema wan go diska me ka se onka ka America say
look for men who have committed crimes
wo ye kasa no wano
oyo ba o
ubenya kuma ba ya kuma dia le
omu ye mema
tie dia ka no me ka nya me adwele jiro
because we are the only two women here and you see they've gang
2 against 2
2 against 1 inti esese o wi a mema oma di oma court
when our issue about now or timo say affirmative battle
o wi a yen hwe mema om ye guilty
Nigeria omo na eso ebibre mu a between 2003 to 2006 okonjo no yo pa all the finance minister go head you see o in fact ono kwa do senya opportunity between 2011 to 2015 under Jonathan Goodluck Jonathan see all etinye oba so oba keke and once again I agree with divine say ye the man kwa ne be ya memetie aduane be na akoto ya twere ho oba sika sadie ni nya ha even sa regional balance ni
you believe it
eye me tan kra asamojan ani ba fo ja tama na omo bobo ni ko omo shegu ani enza
yes
obi ko buza asamojan ani na blaster no so no ene mo regional balance
na say o black queens ene o kan say black queens ye o makwaje ka baba dem
ana me
World Cup
eno kwa de me ka regional balance asema ye
ko fa boy ba na me tire mu
abo ne de
ti a mo susu nka
eno so ma ye so mo ko bi so enye yi ni nyina ye ana me ka se sa agenda ne
solo Victor Salome of course a jail or your ba
esa no a ye ya limit ye e mema ya ka se mema hunu ye bi da wachida sa be ma no de wachino be me hunu
we there be obi ndem chimia
on fa brother on tem brother
me
o be wi aso ya virgin
me virgin
e dia se la ka ye ko tell
virgin
how can you tell me so you virgin wa
me catch you
wow
and so not your brother
the first point of lies
I also have a also ni we not your brother
bi o se lo ya
wo mi ni sadan sadan de try
wo ga dia se la ka kire mo wo be try mo na be ka kire se hey get it
bia be ka se me virgin
wo
man that's all the asem grade
virgin follow mo no mo ba ala ho sisi ho so sa si a wa je ku mo asise wo be try ga wo he radio aga to so wo ye virgin back to press conference and minority you see party MPP whether or not ombe ebegu anase begina no egina hawa ombe ko mani no ombo ko mani ombe yomo you dey work so call parliament chair the
I feel no way
all of a sudden I then no etumi a jump abedi animu a on the lead press conference. There are two key issues over there. I'm telling you how bad we ebet me guashom John Daku another first time parliamentarian no lead the press conference. In any case that in a course ye nyina ehwebi Ahiafo has been so fair to all sides to the extent say Samia Uku is not part of the vetting committee. He was co-opted. Well, yeah, Obi has what me no me Jako Tremubi. And so I have
to the committee.
Yes. I have a man quite a busa question. Give your walk you no bar on channel the man quite so busa question. One no fake data the command can the boss or Rabaumia at to force bastardizing in the past. I hold on go across the scores. I did a question Ben and Wood Buzai. question be pa na mu odu ho no mu a ye busanti a ehu me etam ka say vetting I don't trust the vetting because vetting no ye bia ye den go for court to oba no se be wiom ko mo ho de
and ye bisa say Ghana de kasan a eno enya question ehu hia
na Ghana de kasan say
kwa finance minister Ghana de kasan now so afi na me kwa check ya
Ghana de kasan
so first na woni me kai ye de
say that time na year 9 you see an year figures nyamba that's number 2 ministry na ngasa na say aban no ebe me budget answer kono me me budget o man pedi ba be my state of the nation's address and it dia name pepere hu sa free a university university ya work budget nim na obehu say e wo mu ana say nyede enim na no kura na nya
but there was a campaign campaign
first of all me sa time wa NDC this our campaign assembly by no I told them say omo nya no kwafo because me ko university 1999 that time Haruna Idris na lead ye demonstration that time ni entua residential and academic facility user fee and no me started to know me friends Harry so ya way when him sa ponche me because that time he was the minister of education only been chairman and deputy and a kofa asaje we ba Haruna Idris mu na lead ye demonstration say yankikijia and if after almost 25 or so years mo amatwa mo ho akwa ba be kase ade na mo de ba ya students because me buru wo mo no ade a enye papa me mo aba so for but whether or not they can sustain it no it's another matter because to go university no yeah do na go hostess so ka so ma residential facility no dey cha
yeah
do say that hall of residence so what you say academic facility user fee no here but all these things over train na your friend is say budget na ba ni ehu se e wo mu ana ba sa MPP 42/4 we die eye ni wu asesem kura eni se to e so weak parliament na omworo and it is one of the reasons why ya to aban wie na seat bi akekemu na MPP 4 no omunim so mo lusu pa no mo fight for because omu say the quality of representation dipa na akogu parliament in 1996 NPP call parliament na numbers ni show but not the quality of representation. Utie GH mensa or ya argumenta. Utu say yes. But when one kakasa, what they say at Kroma. Afen ye be hu say siketiane ye friend say mafia so ni ade ankofo ya ye pushing go for parliament. Afen so fa so be there. Baba. It is so far so good. Say otokoso a me no me twa no abroad in the budget betua. Because they dey to ababa le say ekomo okrum. I want you best start your kinds. Nana de way they say.
Right. Yeah, fan kwa IMF for letter trauma Nanado Danko Kufuado on the 8th of January. Bona Basso say I mean or the Ghana is quite passion when it comes to Ghana's economy. Na all the no can and Justin Kodia interview watch say what MPP for chow. Now I said they are minority parliamentarians or mulusu ye just say still no cry twishina so what that no abopusa eh tie pa na fe ye nam court odwene ma won tie ase o kan me ebuma I'm starting free 5 minutes each
about 5 minutes
get it
time
to me dear Justin Kodua o si ne nwanwa sa omo kasa na montia na mo di cotton wool to say the book of Joel kan no that they have used cotton wool to cover their ears that they will not hear and use a blanket to cover their eyes so that they will not see Onua na ebeba because we share MPP their any defeat a disgrace ababetun almost no it is as a result of their own negligence of not listening to Ghanaians and doing the right thing. And it has nothing to do with chief or the economy. People lost their jobs as a result. Ghana, people could not get 3 square meals to eat. People were suffering, especially consumers. Especially consumers, you go into the market to buy things, and I've been saying it, they have formed associations to increase prices, and nothing was done about it. So, whilst they were talking about the free SHS, which is a very good thing, we thank them for it. People were talking about the 3 square meals they could not eat. People were talking about jobs that were not available anymore. Now, I'm even saying that NDC should learn from what they did. Say, would the Juma, Dibema one kasa party members are about party, obi pe Juma na omutuya. If you want a job, you have to pay. Who does the money go to? Who? You see, people suffer. Nanado is the one who went round to campaign. And people that he brought in to come and help him came in and destroyed everything. And now people hated them so much. If you see the number of vote now, voted against them. Ube who say Ghana a hatred and nothing else. And who born and now like they are angry. People are angry. People are angry against them. That is not to say that they've not done whatever they are supposed to do. You are talking about IMF. IMF, what did IMF say?
Country director.
But they praise him. And that praising, listen, no matter what people will say, he did well during the COVID-19 era. Spraying our markets, going around, doing so many things. Nose masks became so cheap. I'm working at a hospital. And I know that nose mask wasn't cheap until COVID-19 came and it became very cheap in the market for everyone to access. It means almost the certain things to sue amasa nose mask no be very cheap for everyone to buy. Into certain things are no modia to sue enu boye ama Ghana COVID-19 yen hu no papa ana Africa hakurampo obi mi hu say obi ka say we were not even having COVID-19 in Ghana, you see. But then, or the BBC, Suma, even US and other places, they were asking people to learn from Ghana. Now Nigeria foresee omo president. Now omo be exchanging omo president to our president because the way he is trying to save lives. And Nigeria. That is the problem. Problem no by biggest problem ever and say omo disika ma omo and how the money went. I remember the Minister for Health accused the Auditor General for sending things outside that they have spent the COVID-19 money without them even asking. He said that they didn't ask them, and the law say we were Auditor General or we any auditing now, and say on fam bra media no fam betudwa. It says on fam Parliament. Na Parliament so on who say Minister for Health sika bia yura no my friend no mpacho sika we with the then they will do all things before they publish it for the public to see. But the Minister of Health was saying that Auditor General no on yes or the buyer, but they knew where the money went. MCS I don't know say or the did it come out with what they use the money for?
Which one?
I mean Minister for Health, they offering because not Onua they know where the money went, but it's just that the Auditor General did not give them opportunity. Or it's in the media.
Say nine him saw Auditor General so the reporter before the report be babo. So there be so he said Auditor General say omuchura ma omu. And omuchura ma omu no they were about to respond or something and then they just brought the thing out. Yes, see I'm attacking Auditor General. Akachana say on di mrase say we are fakwa Parliament will do more investigation to ask now who are omuturo letter na ma wono one fa will responsible by ewahefa. All these things are omudia tosono is to make sure that there's transparency and there's no witch hunting and there's no pressure and other things so that it will not be like you hate me. If you hate me and it get to Parliament and Parliament comes out with something. Ghana for who say obi and time who would they make no majority of the things are cause confusion what Ghana they say pese yendim raso who say cathedral no eba no honorable this Okujato Ablakwa or the omudi kratano omudi kratano
o akizu do say time wa ma abroso
omudi kratano akwama Parliament na oye member of Parliament but odi onu personally the information ni betu ni this na oye ne personal ebe than MPP NDC fight as a result honorable Okujato Ablakwa or destroy evidence and come here presidency here mbema o ma to investigation ato no so for spoiling evidence because obia or destroy because sa evidence na parliament omu pushi no anka omu wie no omu diba na eye parliament na diba ya sa papa na odi court ebe dani like it is just a joke no anka embe dani joke. So in our bid to fight for our political parties and lie that we love Ghana, we destroy evidence and do things that are not usually to the betterment of Ghanaians.
Right, Mami called Divine about IMF letter or trauma and another, and then also Justin Kodier's press announcing interview or yeah.
When him IMF Mami shall say for you.
Right.
IMF in some day. Me finance him.
Country I touch your letter won't find them.
And it's a me finance SMCC and say IMF for no or manu ye me no. She okay in 2016 before ye be to abano.
Yeah.
See the economy is robust, is strong, and Mahama a good economy. Nana do buy a handy over now February no switch statement say, hey baby economy no pa dear. E jinani dear say yan tutu anamo. Yes, enhwehwe ni move wo. But you see no they tell me to me come as me brain say me kokrom na me koto ade a IMF mbo ho.
Debi.
And I'm to about my IMF. Do you get it? IMF way. Wa no ma be chiro mo say me bo blame bi sesi ana me start say be complain ya. Mahama na me dey so won be bono. Say me ti pai me Mahama, say me nine poli na Mahama. My IMF for them in come asem. Cause at the end of the day no. You see, so okay timu a and na match okay twi. Na just say obi wo no na hu say or the ne wofa. G fans pa na say be no papa mbobra. Say kay papa ye ne empanyifo mu di o man su obo mu bra yi IMF nkomo de e be den wa ha me no kasa say Ghana problems dosun hwe ene ba ku bi a echichire because they see andra medwen wa amantiase. Imagine say oka say na wakwa gina police station na wako police station police ni be ka che say to car battery o na yesa went to abeba ne ba be wi ayo police station ho. I to tell you that Omaya team. Imagine say police ni achi oka wako park police station.
Agrafo abagro police station.
Na police ni not counter natural catch yourself akibra. No be say na battery na o see o. When to I had the own to me guarantee me to aba bia e police station. Now we you just see any problem. Your problem. Enti no enu kra po oda kra o nda o ho. Enti payasem. Enti me sanya me ni aje ko fa COVID-19 asem ba. Me COVID-19 asem no ko fa ba na de bufu asanso aba.
It was in the letter. Anyway.
Said then.
Oh, I'm born and another abaso kind managing COVID-19.
You see, say IMF for no na me catch us abrofu we we can't trust them. See, all the mess they created in our system, any problems how me create am nyina no. IMF we they are aware. It's IMF for person country say o man say o man panyi di $58 million etu amna appeal anim e ya teche. Nti o mo say o man tie no. IMF for omo pick and choose adia ebe mo akoso push your agenda. British Wood institution it's the same thing that they are doing. Otherwise IMF for we
yes omo ye man ka de bia da bonka
bi de bia no na ka ye sresre na ye sada ye sayem na ye pacha wo say momwa ye yo momwa ye na che say because omo pese e be ye independent na ye ho atoye nti de bia conditions omo de ba nyina ye harsh so de be ye ho be kire ye nti ade e be ma ye mpanyifo adwen ama ye hu zo oni ama nkoyi no omo nka kire ye na ka bisa say COVID-19 nanado how did he manage COVID-19 no hunti no ye say nanado aya ade ama according to Auditor General's report one thing nyama omo koye even as we speak some of items omo kofa egu warehouse we didn't even use enye muhana table babontin parliamentary candidate for Sagnerugu Felicia Tete enye Onua na be ka kire yen say yi sika na COVID-19 sika de chiche ni de 100,000 buy no call the chair part we use. We are aware of how omo use COVID-19 omo ba omo set up that detention center was there omo de
any detention center ya bia na ya pe ba bi nya hotels ya seminar hotel
ba kwia omo COVID-19 airport ade omo de sika no ba ya wie no na Ghana yen dia COVID-19 na ya crew ye no less than 6 million na anago Nigeria ni company aba besisa in excess attested normal besisa in excess of 20 something million normal they call COVID-19 yankasa me they be ameka say scam na Akufo-Addo ene ne crop ne tenants of Flagstaff so no chichire adwuma de to Ghana for so say COVID-19 sikane ko pebi me be chirem se mimi chidi so mo tenants wo dem one om kuku se no COVID-19 it is on sasa cowboys
om tuwa na se COVID by mankrofo wu ti
me be ka sam ma me ka sam chiro COVID-19 no omo tenants na mo se no ye chiche skabi that time grant e ba ye de ma omo a hate om so hard nti no na do mo tenants ya na mo to no ye nhihwe adwuma e fa to ye so e na pa om ko bo adwuma se COVID-19 aba nti ho na obehu na Akufo-Addo ba no aba be ye fellow Ghanaians so aka chese en koda dem ubehunu no san so gina party ase no sa no gina yi ase na bisa ho se yare ayese ekuan empanyifo nkokrafo any krofo mo underlying health condition na ka be ka chese e mabu ya hye dem na wakokra wo sa wakokra ugina kwan ho na ugina yi ase na wo sa even to the extent say it was in that same era no mo forcing it was for the first step it on the electoral commission to do registration. Whoever say registration, voter registration exercise. Now you say I do be okrum ha say. Mama kan wie once na Akufo-Addo mo buy no mo dey. Omo dey business be na buy. Once mo get international community om presentation every time they are looking for avenues and opportunities. Normal ma brofu na hu say no ye hu kire ye ewu. On say Burkina Faso, na Akufo-Addo boss sit there, imminent, big, whatever terrorist activities happening on our borders. So France the first camera.
Now the woman come talk about
what there be what to say your borders here? I want to move. I want Sisala. I want you what to say? A terrorist attack to be all because you see a scammer. Country say bobo iti okobo bi no so ya kase Ghana be si wa. Say your manual no me yeah.
Corona chi no. Because first no president
na Akufo-Addo
fresh oneba wu me but omo kwaji COVID injection no e na omo sisa na say yes na do gwa de omo ji COVID
na dey fresh
before oba ye no na do okwaji COVID injection
and the body
sisa
wow
I'm telling you
what when the body that
me see na me there be ni like see na me hwe ni
go hwe na ni mo heaven na ye
oh TV
solo me time asoko
ye wo nyina ne se e ma asem aye ke ya na ojo mo sa krata ya okay e joji ba
and the skin na tuntum do ho
there be like is like
je no ma pani akonya na krana e wo baby kuku mu ta because you are describing the man's skin and the body
we are there who the body
miss there be nya body miss in the face
na ni ma ho na
yeah and it immediately after the COVID-19 injection he just and then he's not looking like
try so
ya umre ndiro sa Georgieva Kristalina no oya ewiase problem on the mass mo working one natural sabro for 30 e dia ba di owura Akufo-Addo ho adanse abaya yekoto e na ye referendum on Akufo-Addo na memo Ghana for any IMF for nyaadwen na okura wotie wo ka bi se ukokro mu an yoma boarding dey wo so wa ya de ye woni ne ya de
COVID-19 no na ye ka
COVID te say na ayi kan COVID mmeremu ngwa na IMF mai se 2 billion se say 1 billion bi ba first one ana sika ye jeje ye wie na ye nya 21 billion
didi wa ma odi ane
me o ma odi ane
wa ma like is
go for we hwe nyame nim Yesu Kristo kro feed multitude no wan ka so spend 54 million se say omo ka che so omo nu amon kwa 54 million magana unya bi di
me de me ni bi mo
unya bi di
me hu so mo chen daire me
Felicia tetenkwa nya bi di die na Akufo-Addo aye on my way do ho amna odi akohyem no answer na yempie nti no wonder say
we turn the corner
sa brofo no
ko say grant ko
that be sa man no
we are not paying back
me mu pese mu refi keno foriata mu ma ye refi sa man ni dia
na
refi keno foriata
na refi no
sa papa no boni a wodi o man we mu no eni se mu ma mu refi ne da no abetra no ase white bible no kwantira na say mimbie bible mu no wonu ti me jai bible bie eni atade white mi nhye bio because we check obi a we yiri tire ho sakora no hye atade white no tam bible a hwede ye isa za zango enu nti omo ya za Sa IMF mami ene Ekufuado administration asese adwuma ono so sese ne nkwamu ye de to drop fu yema ti se de no wo kan owuru Akufo ba be firi so IMF for board abaso o firi so a Professor Mose Baya na o ma be twro tokro dem and we o mo twai John Mahama man state of the answer na man state of the nation no dia ba
no mo for fraba
o be ba be ka tse senye etu o man no ni se ye fa we mu serious na kodua dia wo ka se o se de o
sister na want to see you
o kodua no na kodua dia
just he can't or drink what
onya kasa kodua onya kasa because we are general secretary me was go for person
137 pa to a year
wa ba be di ai party ani makonya 88 asese unya kasa nko trafie and draw resignation we da so to na o kasa na ya pacha officer easy no wo ku party no wa ma MPP na gu ti jakasa wo ku party no
MP anya na adwuma ye ne etu na no fa
general secretary wo ti wona wo na Kufuado mu tiatia wo so ti sa kwada wo timi take decision bia o wa ba me ayo sa kwada am okoko young man in politics o ma sell future wo ti ayove ana sa na radio station ye pacho woni what is at stake on wo ma say ni career o ma finish no he's finished.
He doesn't know what time it is.
He doesn't know. He's still living in the past. Because on what basis ana so mo party no e kwa akensie bia obetumi akwa nyina so e de nyina so do be just say ya nto abama no bio.
Yes, he was the only person on cabinet and no to me tire na adwene.
Jimmy chapter 2 verse 4 e do bi no. Wo no to me tire na adwene. Ya tia ne sa akwada ya pam de sia bonten. Hwa de o ma start ya do bi na kaba. Enkebe na gidi obo akwakọ parliament ono no first time I woni na otukra o na start kasa almost shisha adwuma ba o mia click. Afenyo here your friend say gidi obo akọ here Samuel Okuba be join na triangle obasa for party. Let me tell you o masemo a media me enfa me ho but wonyai kasa me na nebusuafo tie mi a onka just wonyai kasa na the more work kasa the more na the party for no esum video man so me pam na free so and me won say posters bi ni na mo ayuji na ntwi former subi general secretary
koko fukura de aba
yes because mo say woni enan bia obegina so as kodua say wo no betu dia contest bio na bi dia mate so makura bio obekwa kope intimidate
Nana B dey say on himself all the national officers on onye serious.
Nana
B
na kweti
oba movement ayemfa
best of the same feathers.
Me movement for change leader oba me hono mo a ye man treasurer.
Hey
Alan treasurer obenye no hefa ye treasurer wonim de oye treasurer
na me pomata say amala post say no grade
na bi no grade now no
na won say amala post me ndisi fu
ya Janet o ka sala ni ja treasurer Janet me nsan card kwa no ogura movement for change no crab ba ko kura ni nanu no ba bi dura movement for change ya me move no crab ba ko kura ni nanu
Ghana ye kase Ghana for so moti omunim de o kan e de o ye truthful person and na de o ye one sided place o move it towards Ghana mu ye movement asisi mu ye ti say mu ye NDC for and na mu hwehwe positions free NDC me gina hwe man hwehwe position free NDC ana MPP for ho na MPP for oma me hwi me krampo na me hwehwe this what is it called kra auction car MPP
one go to auction car na ya fama
o me tia 8 years
man ni pa bone say won wadwe
emra so no ndo agba apa ho me time aso next week e be say share biom
Onua 95.1 FM yeah